June the 1st meeting to order. Thank each and every one that is in the audience and those that is on the air. Listen to our meeting. And at this time, I ask Commissioner Cozart would lead us in the prayer and the invocation. Pledge allegiance.
Thank you so much. Greetings to everyone. May we bow. Dear God, we thank you so much for this day, another day that you've been so kind to give us, another day that we can show love one to another, and another day that we can glorify your holy and righteous name. God, we want to thank you so much for how you blessed our county and all of our people. We thank you, God, for the harmony in our county. We thank you, God, for giving us the resources to do so many things. So we just lift you up and we thank you for all the good things you have done. And then, God, we thank you so much for your grace and your mercy for those things we'll fail to do that you're charging us to do. Thank you for giving us another chance. And God, I pray that you will bond all of this board together. God, I pray you will allow your love to flow throughout this county so that we can be the people that you would have us to be. And God, before I close this prayer, I want to ask you to please keep your healing hand upon our chairman on next Thursday as he go in to have surgery. God, we commend it all to you, that you will handle every procedure. You will prescribe every medicine. And God, you will be the author in charge of all things. So we claim it, God. We claim his healing. In the precious name of Jesus, we pray. Amen. Are y'all standing? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
Thank you, Commissioner Cozart, for the prayer and pledge allegiance. I know it's just like they said, it is tough. Commissioners Cozart just left his wife over in Dukes and just to come back here to our meeting and everything. I know it's hard, it's heavy, and wondering about her. And also, we lost a long-time planning board member yesterday morning, Alan Nelson. We like to just pray for Commissioner Cozart and planning board member Alan Nelson's wife, Ella. Would you bow with me just a minute, please? Dear precious Lord, we just come thanking you. Lord, asking that what you would just touch Sister Ella, Lord. Bless her, Lord. Let her know that you do all things, and all things that you do is well, Lord. Lord, and it was just his time to go, Lord. Lord, thank you for allowing her to have the times where touch the family, Lord. Lord, not only him, but touch Commissioner Cozart, Sister Jackie, Lord. Go by the bedside and touch her, Lord. Touch her from on top of her head to the sole of her feet, Lord. Heal her, Lord. You know all about her, Lord, because you made her, Lord. Bless her, Lord. Take care of her. Not only her, but his sisters, Lord. Touch her. Bless his family, Lord. Bless them and take care of them, Lord. Be your fence around them and protect them and guide them, Lord. Lord, it's healing season. Heal, Lord. Touch, Lord. Bless him, Lord, as he travel, Lord. Touch his heart and mind, Lord. Keep him more humble and thank on you, Lord. Let him know that you do all things, and everything that you do is well, and everything that you do is good, Lord. Lord, bless not only here, bless them, bless sick and afflicted all over the land and country, Father. Bless them and take care of us. These blessings we ask in thy name. Amen. Amen. Okay. We'd like to thank each and every one. Right now, we would like to recognize the members of the 2026 Leadership Grant And we ask them to come forward and introduce themselves and tell them a little something of where they represent. Leadership Grammar.
Guess I'll go first. Good evening, commissioners. My name is Joe Dre. I work for the County of Granville as the Senior Economic Development Officer. Pleasure to be here this evening.
Hi guys, my name is Jennifer Ganser. I'm the Planning Director at the Town of Butner.
Good evening, I'm Connor Smith. I'm a science teacher at Oxford Preparatory School.
Good evening, I'm Heather Hayes. I'm with Granville County Department of Social Services.
Hello, my name is Karan Gregory, and I am the Assistant Branch Manager at the State Employees Credit Union.
Good evening, my name is Michelle Brandon, and I am an employee of the Masonic Home for Children.
Good afternoon, my name is Dorana Davis. I am the Community Support Coordinator at the Masonic Home for Children in the Community Support Center. It's a blessing to be with you all today.
Good evening, my name is Meredith Hoffaker, and I am the school nurse at Oxford Preparatory School.
Hi, good evening. My name is Laura Pendergrass, and I own Slate Real Estate. We do residential and commercial real estate in the Vance-Granville, Franklin, Warren County area.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jamie Purvis. I'm the Chief Financial Officer at Granville Health System, and I'm delighted to be here.
Hello, my name is Erica Cash. I work at Granville Health Systems. I'm the Director of Specialty Services.
Good evening, I'm Kyle Burwell. I'm the Dean of Business and Industry Solutions at Vance-Granville Community College. Thank you.
I'm Willie McConnell. I'm the Parks Maintenance Superintendent for the City of Oxford Parks and Recreation Department.
Hello, my name is Stephen Wolf. I'm the owner of Colonel Gray's Gourmet Popcorn. Thank you.
And last, and I believe y'all already know me, but I'm Jason Revis, the Emergency Management Director for Granville County.
Just like to say, Leadership Grammar, thank you. And we appreciate you taking the class up here with Granville County, Leadership Grammar. With that said, can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve the agenda as presented.
Second. It has been moved and properly second that we approve the agenda as presented. Are there any questions or comments? All in favor, use vote sign aye.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right. Ayes have it, stand approved. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
It has been motion and proper second that we approve this consent agenda as presented. Are there any questions or comments? All in favor, use vote sign aye.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right. Thank you. Okay. Moving right along to introduction and recognition.
I think she wants to be in a deep strike. She might want to take your spot.
If she want to take my, if she want to take my spot, come on, come on. Let her come on. Okay, next agenda item is introduction and recognition and presentation. At this time, I will ask Mr. Will Robinson to come forward and give us a presentation of the Granville County Litter Initiative. Cut your mic on.
Good afternoon. I'm Will Robinson, the Library Director. Going to be talking about the Granville Litter Initiative. The purpose is to receive a presentation on the, is that what I need to do in the next one? Okay, go to the next one. Oh, I got to use this. I'm sorry. Granville County Litter Initiative called Granville Green. What is Granville Green? Started in early 2025 as a countywide initiative to reduce litter in Granville County. Monthly meetings held at the Granville County Convention and Expo Center in Oxford discuss litter concerns and strategies for long-term solutions, review successful litter programs in surrounding counties and towns, focused on learning from proven models to strengthen local efforts. Brought together representatives from municipal governments, county departments, school systems, law enforcement, elected officials, community volunteers, built on collaboration, education, awareness, and community involvement, established a strong foundation for future countywide anti-litter efforts. We're just beginning the journey toward a cleaner Granville County. Why litter matters. Litter harms the beauty of our communities and pollutes the waterways we depend on. Trash discarded along roadsides eventually breaks down into microplastics that can enter our water supply. By implementing this litter initiative, we can begin to help create a cleaner, healthier future for everyone. Education. Education is essential to reducing litter. Through municipal kickoffs, school programs, competitions, and strong business and community involvement, we are working to raise awareness and encourage lasting change. Litter often leads to more litter, creating a harmful cycle that affects the entire community. Why we created the Granville Green website. You can see the front page right here. To create a central hub for countywide anti-litter information and resources, provide citizens with clear ways to report litter and illegal dumping, promote cleanup events, volunteer opportunities, and community involvement, increase public awareness about the environment and economic impacts of litter, to share educational materials for schools, businesses, and residents, highlight partnerships, sponsors, and participating organizations, encourage civic pride and community stewardship, improve communication between municipalities, county governments, and residents, showcase progress, photos, and success stories from across the county, and to have a central place to report litter. How to report litter on the website. Option 1, if you see someone littering, you can contact NCDOT's Swat a Litter Bug. Option 2, if you see litter on the roadside, especially large items like tires or appliances, you can phone it in to the 911 non-emergency number. Option 3, you can email us the details. Option 4, which is still in development. Another, if you see litter on the roadside, you can send us a picture and we can geolocate it on a map. Yeah, that's not running yet, but will be soon. Add your local litter cleanup to the website calendar. Community groups, schools, churches, businesses, and civic organizations are encouraged to submit litter cleanups for inclusion on the Granville Green calendar. Posting cleanup events on the website helps volunteers discover opportunities to serve throughout the county. The calendar promotes collaboration, increases participation, and helps to present overlapping events. By sharing cleanup efforts publicly, organizations can inspire greater community involvement and civic pride. To add an event, organizers can submit cleanup details through the website contact form or designated event submission processes. And this is just an example of the contact page that's on the website. Website's not live right now, but it will be soon. So it says, got a litter cleanup in your area? Put it on our calendar. All right, we're going to have a couple other people present after me, but that's the end of mine. Any questions? Good? Cecil? I think Cecil's going next. Sorry.
Good evening. I'm Cecil Hudgens, and I'm from Butner. And I was asked to share a little bit about what we've been doing in Butner for actually about 10 years. The Butner Community Association held the first Beautify Butner Day in April of 2016, so we just recognized 10-year anniversary on that this past April. Around the same time, a few citizens began searching through roadside litter for identifiable information, which was reported back to Butner Public Safety for action. Support and shared concern over the years by Butner Public Safety chiefs and the town of Butner have led us to where we are today. Town of Butner is serious about litter, and we're taking proactive steps to remove litter from our streets and catch those who do litter. In addition to Beautify Butner Day, the town of Butner also conducts an annual litter sweep that allows the town employees and council members an opportunity to see the problem up close. The town of Butner recently refilled an open part-time position to pick up litter, and this show of support has made a significant impact on the reduction of visible litter around town. The community is confident that if they report litter, it will be investigated, but more local involvement is needed. Butner Public Safety is very active in addressing litter, and they have support from their leadership to go after those who litter. And here are a couple of things that they're currently doing. They field complaints from the community and they conduct investigations. They go through discarded trash to search for any evidence of identification. They monitor trucks traveling throughout town to make sure that the loads are secure. They utilize cameras in strategic locations to help identify the offenders, particularly for larger infractions. They're currently working with Sunrock to have B Street cleaned up from the dirt and gravel that's generated from the quarry operation. They also have a good working relationship with the town of Butner on addressing litter concerns. Catching and prosecuting those who litter is a difficult job, as we all know, but if we just ignore the problem, it will only worsen through accumulation and as our population grows in the county. We wash our cars, we mow our lawns, we enforce the speed limits and zoning ordinance for a reason. We should care equally about how our county and our hometowns look and take littering serious too. Littering is illegal, it is ugly, it is a reflection of our towns and the character of our people. In the bigger scheme of things, it will eventually impact the quality of everyone's drinking water. If you are considering moving to another town and it was scattered with roadside litter, would it leave a positive or a negative impression on you about the area and about the people? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, fellow commissioners, my only job tonight is to show you the signs that were created by the school system. Like I say, I was telling Commissioner May, this is one of the better groups I've ever worked with, litter-wise, within the county. So thank you for Commissioner May for driving it, and these two gentlemen here as well. These are Princeton International. We've also made signs for municipalities. We have those available, ready to be distributed. Nice looking signs. These do not live.
If I could, Mr. Chairman.
Can I ask a question?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay. I don't know who to ask, to Jason, to either one of y'all.
a lot of the times, the enforcing agency will go to that person's house and make them clean it up. That's what happens a lot. I think that the town of Butner has been quite a bit more enforcement. They've been more aggressive in enforcing that, and they are a model of enforcement in that area. So,
I noticed coming in town, right before you get to Mr. Cooper's house, there's a sofa. Somebody, I don't know where it flew off the truck. What happened? But it's sitting on the side of the road, in a ditch on 96.
okay. Let me take a look at it.
Mr. Chairman, if I can, about 2 years ago, we had a citizen in my district that called, and there was a issue with a trash being dropped off right on the side of the road. I went by, looked at it, called Jason. It happened again, just within a few days. Jason took the bag of trash, went through it, found articles or prescriptions that led to the person that was dumping it. And he addressed it. It was actually in an apartment complex. And do you remember that, Jason? And went to the gentleman and wrote him a letter, certified mail, went to him and said, if this doesn't stop, here's the consequences. And it stopped. The interesting thing was the apartment complex had a trash receptacle that was probably less than 100 feet from his apartment, but he'd rather drop it off on the side of the road in somebody's front yard. But Jason followed right up on it, and we did take care of the problem. Jason took care of the problem. So it does work. It will work.
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, thank you. Sorry, sorry to interrupt you, but as a citizen of Butner, Cecil Hutchins, my next door neighbor, by the way, has been very instrumental in pushing this litter initiative in Butner, and it's taken root, it's taken a hold, and he has made a difference by working with the police department, working with the town council, and there is a visible difference, especially on the end of the street we live on, which is G Street. There's no houses at the end of the street, and that had become a dumping ground. And they, after years and years of hard work, we finally, through Cecil's actions and those of the police department and town council, we have finally gotten that area cleaned up. And we get trash from time to time, but it's nowhere near what it was when I moved there 10 years ago. They have made a complete turnaround there, and it's wonderful to see. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen, and thanks for putting that together. I thought it was important that what we've been working on come together and be shown to the general public, so we can go live on the website and the work that a number of components of the county have provided. But what's really important about this is not, the county is only a conduit. The real effectiveness of this, as you know, Commissioner Griffin and Commissioner Gooch, that is citizen involvement and getting them to become a key part of this. Their green teams, working with their municipalities. We've asked, Butner has done a rollout. We're asking all our municipalities to do a rollout and present the program. Granville County Public Schools have been a tremendous partner. They'll be putting signs at all their schools. They'll be hiding information out to the students from an educational standpoint. From the enforcement aspect, we've asked Commissioner Griffin and Captain Bryant with the Butner Public Safety Department to meet with our law enforcement agencies so they can determine what best methods and practices they can use so that they can further this initiative. We want to make sure that what they're doing coincides with what the judiciary will work with us on, and if there's a means of enforcement, that it actually occurs. And so litter is a problem in Granville County. We spend a lot of money every year, roadside pickups. And so the more litter we can knock down, the better and the more beautiful our county is. And so I commend you, gentlemen, and I commend the town of Butner and other municipalities that are being involved, and we hope that they will roll out their information soon. It's their initiative, so we're just acting as a conduit. And again, we'll also be working with our fast food restaurants and getting the fast food restaurants to work with providing trash cans at their locations. In addition to that, working with them to help to make sure that they are promoting when folks leave some type of information going with them in regards to reducing the litter. Anywhere in the county, I don't care where you live, you'll find something from one of our fast food restaurants, and it's alongside the road. And so we want to try to knock that down. I also want to thank Ms. Hicks for the help that she could provide on this service. The key to this, commissioners, working through this process and working with the county manager and Ms. Hicks, is we don't want to inundate 911 with with a vendor or a business trash bag alongside the road. And so what we want to do is make sure that they get the right kind of calls, and she'll be providing feedback to the municipalities, to their public works departments, and help on that. And finally, our sponsors, Alltech and Winston International, are two of our initial sponsors. We have more. They're providing funding that will help us with cameras and covert cameras at illegal dumping locations. And so we hope that coordinated, and we hope all our law enforcement, our sheriff's office, and all the law enforcement agencies will come together and through this effort work hard to do what they can to reduce the amount of litter in our county. But it's intended to be low maintenance and really a genuine organic process for our citizens. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I just would like to bring recognition from myself to Will Robinson and Cecil Hutchins on the tremendous amount of hours and work they have done on this website. I've seen what they're trying to put together, and it's a wonderful thing. And I want to thank all the other members on this committee, and particularly Mr. May for spearheading this, and Representative Sossaman. But that's not where it has to end. That's only the beginning. Where it has to really grow the feet is the person that we look at in the mirror, and that's me and you. So many times I go down the road I live on and pick up trash. I see people go down and they throw it in my front yard. I'm proud of my yard and I'm proud of my farm, and I hate to see trash on the side of the road. I implore you to get people to stop throwing out litter. We have receptacles in the county where you can go by and put it in. Please encourage people to do that. And if you see somebody throwing out litter, I don't care if it's a cigarette butt, call that number. The sheriff, I know, will send people out there after them, and the municipalities will send people out there after them to stop them from litter, because I'm tired of seeing people trash our county. We live in a beautiful place, and I want to maintain it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else have any questions for Will?
Thank those gentlemen.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much.
I'm just going to tell them thank you. Thank you. But Cecil and all the rest of the group that worked on this, I know it's been a tough and a rugged road, because I know when the Environmental Affairs Board were trying to tackle it years ago, and every time we find someone, and I know Jason will go to court, we find him and Jason go to court and sit down in court all day long, and then for them to dismiss him, said a dog tore the bag all to pieces. That's why they scrolled the trash. And we back at the same thing. Thank y'all for whatever y'all done, and we appreciate it. Okay. Madam Clerk, do we have anybody for public comment?
Yes, we do. We'll begin with Tori Lopez. Right.
Just like to say, you have 3 minutes and state your name and address and what you, if anybody that is in the same group and want someone to speak for them, please let us know when we call your name out. So you have one speaker. Okay?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and members of the board. My name is Mark Yates. I'm with Anchor Disposal, headquartered at 2019 Hardy Lane in Clayton, North Carolina. I'm here this evening on behalf of Anchor, one of the proposers of RFP SWC S2026 for operation of Granville County Solid Waste Convenience Centers. My colleague Tim Herman, president of Waypoint Consulting, will follow me at the podium. Anchor's principal, Carrie Mead Bell, is present in the chamber. Together we have approximately 12 minutes of combined public comment, and we want to walk the board through our questions here. Item 10, documented conditions of 7 convenience sites. In March 2026, Anchor personnel conducted on-site inspections of all 7 Granville County centers. The conditions were documented, were consistent across the network. End-of-life equipment corrosion at every site, a catastrophic pre-crusher failure at Butner in the weeks before our visit, failed or absent concrete containment pads at 4 sites, hydraulic pooling at 5, and off-site environmental migration of waste leachate at Wilton. These conditions are systematic. They reflect a sustained pattern of deferred maintenance across the network that the county's paying to have managed. The county's own RFP for this cycle reflects awareness of these issues. This is the first contract cycle in which the RFP includes $2,000 per day liquidated damages provision for unaddressed mechanical failures, a provision that did not exist in the prior contract. The photographic records, exhibits A through G, the 7 posters that we'll display this evening, exhibits A through G, are a photographic record of our March inspections, and it's in your proposal that Anchor has given to you. We'll start with Exhibit A, Butner Convenience Site, catastrophic pre-crusher failure in the weeks before our inspection. The concrete pad is structurally failed and requires complete demolition before any new equipment can be installed. Exhibit B, Wilton Convenience Site, compactor receiver line on gravel, no concrete pad, hydraulic fluid and waste leachate visibly migrating into the adjacent wooded buffer. Exhibit C, Oxford Convenience Site, concrete pad saturated with hydraulic fluid, a failed hydraulic power unit abandoned on site, receiver container repairs impoverished with the tarp. Exhibit D, Butner Convenience Site, the concrete pad, structural pad failure so extensive that the surface is largely obscured by debris and contamination, a structural condition, not a maintenance one. Exhibit E, Berea Convenience Site, years of biological growth on container surfaces, container latch replaced with an impoverished wooden stick, recycling container overflowing. Exhibit F, Oxford Convenience Site, additional equipment, pre-crusher with leachate pooling at its base, stationary compactor with heavy full-service corrosion, no concrete container containment. Exhibit G, Oxford Container Site, clean-out point, waste accumulation and hydraulic contamination at the compactor face, A shovel is present but unused. The daily clean-out protocol requirement to prevent mechanical failure is not being performed. Commissioners, this is not a maintenance issue. It is a contract performance issue. The standard of care the county is paying for is not the standard of care being delivered. Anchor Disposal's commitment. If awarded the convenience site contract, Anchor commits to deploying all new stationary compactors and pre-crushers at all 7 sites, new receiver containers at the 7 sites, and concrete pad demolition and replacement at the degraded sites, and will begin in Butner. The RFP allows until January 1st, 2028 for the new equipment installation. Anchor commits to having all 7 sites fully operational by February 2027. That's a full 11 months ahead of the RFP's deadline. The RFP also requires new attendant houses with air conditioning and heat. Anchor's proposal commits to that requirement. The incumbent's proposal does not even address it. Anchor's staffing plan deploys 9 trained site attendants supervised by a dedicated full-time supervisor. Anchor accepts the RFP of $2,000 per day liquidated damages provision for any unaddressed mechanical failure. My colleague Tim Herman will follow with further comments to the board. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, can I pause just for a minute? Have a question. It's for council. Are we listening to a proposal, and does that impact? Should we, in other words, should we be the audience listening to this? Should this board make a decision and when the initial proposal from GFL comes up?
I'm sorry, I don't understand the question.
So I'm hearing a proposal from another company. We normally don't hear that in public comments.
The matter is on the agenda tonight, and both proposals are on the agenda for you to choose between. And
the material that's being presented is not in, I did not see that in our documents.
I believe there was, let me go back and take a look at the agenda item itself.
I've not seen any of the pictures that he's talking about. I just see bid sheets, page 70, 80, and 81. And I apologize, Mr. Chair. I just want to make sure that.
Bear with me for just a minute to get to that page. I'm flipping through what's on the agenda at this point. So it looks like it's just a bid recap here, and that the actual proposals were not included. I don't think there's anything that prohibits them from making these comments in open session, and it's nothing that prohibits you all from requesting more information before you make a final decision, if that's what you want to do.
Yes, thank you. Just to make sure it's appropriate and that, we're not stepping outside the boundaries of a bid process, which commissioners are not involved in.
Right. And so the ultimate decision of the bid process is the commissioner's responsibility. And if you need additional information to make your decision, you don't have to vote tonight.
That's what I needed. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
The next person is who?
So the next is Tim Herman.
Tim Herman?
Using Carrie Mead Bell's 3 minutes for a total of 6.
I'm sorry, sir. Yeah, you'll go first, and then when your 3 minutes is up, then I will call her forward, and then she can yield her time at that time.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, my name is Tim Herman, President of Waypoint Waste Consulting. I appear before this board this evening on behalf of my client, Anchor Disposal. Before Anchor's request is considered, I'd like to make a factual correction. The recycling haul figures shown in the Anchor column of the bid recap that you have reflect Anchor's original April 2nd submission rather than the haul-only rates that Anchor provided at Director's written request on April 16th. Our original figures had a $90 per ton Sunoco processing rate as a pass-through in the haul because the bid form itself did not leave a place to put that cost. When you apply that cost over 493 annual hauls, Anchor's rate is actually $119,550, not the $341,400 that you have. Anchor raised this with staff in writing a few weeks ago. I'm sure to be corrected. With that correction noted, the board has before it two principal responses to its RFP at the convenience centers. Anchor's response is a 19-page proposal that addresses the equipment specifications, $702,000 capital investment budget, concrete pad remediation standards, maintenance protocol, a site-by-site staffing plan, new installation, and a timeline backed by vendor commitments 11 months ahead of schedule. The incumbent's response is 7 pages. The first page addresses the convenience centers in 110 words. The remaining 6 pages are exact verbatim photocopy of the proposal that they gave for the franchise residential collection. Language that doesn't even apply to the convenience centers. It's simply a copy and paste proposal. Their plan does not address pad conditions, does not address compactor maintenance, does not address fencing, does not address lighting, does not address attendant staffing levels or spill response. All these are operational requirements in your RFP. It's not lost on me, the green litter presentation that you just heard a few minutes ago. Anchor's proposed contract value is approximately $571,000 per year higher on the convenience site portion after the correction I described a moment ago. The gap exists because Anchor is proposing to install all brand new equipment at all of these sites. That's a total of 26 compactors. I want to talk just briefly about experience. The incumbent has operated Granville County's convenience center sites for many years and has a number of North Carolina convenience center contracts. They have much more experience than Anchor does. With that acknowledged, I want the board to know that I will not make experience an issue in this procurement. I'm not going to exploit for political or competitive purposes GFL's vast experience at operating the kind of convenience centers you saw in those photographs. Some of you will remember that line from the Gipper himself, and it might resonate with you just a little bit.
Your time is up. And next is Carrie Mead Bell.
Yep, and I defer my time.
There's one more reason the decision matters beyond who manages this contract for the next 5 years. The last time this contract was bid was 2020, and nobody responded. Nobody competed. The capital cost is enormous, and the only operator who can really attractively bid from a price standpoint are the incumbents whose equipment's already in place. This cycle, the county took a real step to change that. The county wrote an RFP that required new equipment, remediated sites, and a professional service standard. 3 of the largest waste operators in the region, Republic Services, Meridian Waste, and Liberty Waste, all attended the mandatory pre-bid meeting along with Anchor and GFL. Those 3 companies complained about having to put new equipment in. And Director Falls, I'm certain at the risk of not having anybody compete yet again, came out with a redraft of the RFP a few days later saying you could now put in used equipment, the exact problem you have today. Oddly enough, those 3 companies decided not to bid your contract anyway. So all you had was GFL, and this time you had Anchor. Anchor saw the exact same specifications that everybody else saw, but we believed in what the county said, that you wanted new equipment and you wanted this cleaned up once and for all. Capable operators are not going to invest the resources to bid into a procurement that they conclude will be decided by a cheaper price. 5 years from now, the county may once again face a one-bidder cycle with the same outcome and none of the leverage that you have with real competition. Our request. Anchor Disposal requests that the board direct staff to negotiate the convenient site management agreement with Anchor. Anchor's proposal is the only one that responded substantively to the county's original specifications as the RFP was written and the subsequent revision that came out. One more thing before I finish. The audio and transcript of the April 2nd bid opening, which I attended. Director Falls told the bidders that the county would, quote, anticipate possible interviews with the finalist. Those interviews never took place. Anchor was prepared in such interviews to discuss things that are not in the written bid, including the terms under which the county could own the new equipment at the end of our 5 years. The board has not had the benefit of that conversation. Alternately, Anchor asked the board to direct staff to conduct finalist interviews that were referenced in the April 2 bid opening meeting. Conversations bidders were told to anticipate before a vendor would be selected. In closing, Granville County's residents deserve convenience centers that work. The documentation that you saw a few minutes ago
Your time is up.
makes clear it didn't happen. Anchor listened to
Your
you when
time
nobody
is
else
up.
would.
Next is David Scott. Please state your name and address for the record.
My name is David Scott. My address is 712 Raleigh Street in Oxford. Good evening, Commissioners. I want to present my views on the proposed changes to the early voting elections in Granville County, particularly the move of the Public Works Building early voting site to the Granville Expo Center. This is concerning to me. This plan put forth by the Board of Electors will have a negative impact on our constituents in Oxford. The Public Works Building is known as the early voting location. To move this location to the Expo Center will create a significant hardship for those voters that have limited or no access to transportation. Our CARTS bus service does not go to the Expo Center, so instead of minutes for people to travel to vote, they must now find a way to the Expo Center. This decision does not serve the voters of our county. In my neighborhood, several households would experience unnecessary hardship if the early voting site was moved out of town. I'm asking you, our elected commissioners, to speak out about the current plan to change early voting locations. Your constituents need to know of this plan so they can be part of the decision. As a commission that makes funding decisions for the Board of Electors, you hopefully have some power to prevent this change. We hope you can assure us that funds will remain available to run our current site at the Public Works Building. Thank you sincerely for listening to my concerns.
Thank you. Next is Kristen Hefner. Please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Kristen Hefner, and I live at 400 West B Street in Butner. I am also here today to talk about how the Board of Elections is proposing eliminating specifically the South Branch Library as one of the early voting locations for this upcoming election. I am personally very concerned about this, as it would make the closest place for me to vote early about 25 minutes away at Tar River Elementary or here at the Granville Expo Center in Oxford with the current proposals that they are making. I have always voted early, as Election Day is a day that I have to work, and it is more easy and more convenient to go during early voting. The South Branch Library has always been a great place to vote, and getting rid of this location does not make any sense for residents in the southern part of the county. I'm not even in the southeasternmost part of Butner, and these new proposed locations would be even further away for folks who live there, and those are the most populous places in southern Granville County. I think that ensuring that early voting stays accessible for as many residents of Granville County as possible is something we should all be concerned about. I know that this decision and plan is not coming directly from you all as the county commissioners, but as our county commissioners and our elected officials, I'm asking that you all speak out about these proposed changes to South Granville's and Oxford's early voting locations. I believe that your words and opinions would go a long way when it comes to the decisions that will be made by the Board of Elections, and you have power to get the word out to your constituents and make sure that everyone is able to share how these changes would affect them and know that these changes are being considered. Also, as the people who are making funding decisions for the Board of Elections, that also gives you all some power to potentially add funds for an additional early voting location in North Granville, if that is what the issue is here, or CART's transportation for the northern part of the county as well, without having to remove or move locations for the rest of the county. Thank you for your time and your consideration in this matter.
Next is Bubba Carr. And please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Bubba Carr. Good evening. And I live at 112 Granville Street in Oxford. Hello to you all, including law enforcement. America is a democratic country. Granville County is a democratic county. Democracy comes from two words, demos meaning people and kratia meaning rule. Thus we have democratic rule or simply people rule. The voting by the people in Granville County has been going well for many years. In Oxford, early voting has taken place at Public Works on Penn Avenue. This has been going well, I dare say excellent, for many years with no problems. The Public Works building is in the heart of the city, and there has been no major problems voting there. The people's opinion and suggestions is that voting should continue there. A quick check on the opinion of the people is this, in that place is this. It provides accessibility to everyone that don't drive. It is central and suitable. Transportation is not a problem, but the Granville Expo Center is further away. The longer commute is difficult for some people, including me. I had to find a ride tonight and get here to speak to you tonight. One person said, we need to put it where we can reach it. An 8th grader student of mine said, gas has gotten high and we can walk to Penn Avenue, but we have to drive to the Expo Center. The fact of the matter is that the Public Works building is definitely the better place for all. Thus, for the reasons stated, we should keep the location at the Public Works building for early voting. I'm asking that you all, as our elected officials, speak out about this and help to find a solution that ensures that all Granville County residents continue to have easy access to early voting. I'm asking that you help to make sure that your voters know about these plans and are able to share how these decisions will affect them. I thank you, Baba Carr, BA, MA.
Next is Kyle Lampart. Again, please state your name and address for the record.
Hi, my name is Kyle Lampart. I live at 400 West B Street in Butner. I'm also here to speak about the proposed changes to the early voting sites, specifically for the one affecting the South Branch Library. I myself am a resident of South Granville, as are over 20% of the population of Granville County. The South Branch Library is currently located between these two major population centers of Butner and Creedmoor, and removing this voting site will reduce access that people have. Not only if I myself have the privilege of having transportation and being able to have a reliable vehicle to get where I need to go, but that is something that not everyone in our county is afforded. Moving these sites further away is going to reduce people's access. I'm a county employee down in Durham, and I do not get voting day off. I know here in Granville County, we have a large workforce that is part of both the state and the county services. So having election day off isn't really an option for many of these essential services, once again, reducing access. Ensuring that early voting locations are easy to get to is imperative to make sure that our elections here in Granville County continue to run as well as they have in the past. I am asking that y'all, as our elected officials, make sure that people know about this and speak out against the proposed changes. Thank you for your time.
Next is Emmett Santillo. Please state your name and address for the record.
Is it permissible if we present together?
Is that Pat? Yeah. One moment.
Switch the order. We signed at the same time. We just want to switch.
Yes. So what I can do is have Emmett go and then you go, or
Vice versa.
I'm sorry.
Have Pat go first.
Okay. Yep, that works.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. County of Granville, Commissioners, appreciate the time to speak to you. I'm not used to, okay, I'm sorry, yeah, Pat Luce, 808 Cedarwood Court, Chesapeake, Virginia, 23322. I'm not really used to giving proposals at a meeting in this forum, and I thank you for pointing that out, but we had some comments prepared anyway. For those of you who don't know, Waste Industries, GFL, we've been around, Waste Industries around for 47 years, merged with GFL in 2018, and we're one company now. Again, another thing, just a comment, I'm not used to people changing their proposal as far as pricing at a forum like this either. That seemed kind of off to me, but I think you guys picked up on that. The RFP was issued. All requests for information was covered. By signing RFP, we agreed to all the stipulations within the RFP, and that including equipment, maintenance, personnel. It included the cover letter, the technical proposal, including subsections 1 through 9. The biggest issue seems to be that Anchor keeps saying that there has to be new equipment. Well, that's the only option that they have. So I do understand that. But the RFP process went as it was supposed to. It was open. An addendum was put into place that refurbed equipment could be used if necessary. I'm not sure why Anchor has chosen to use such negative and inflammatory language in this form. I also found it kind of interesting that they had to hire an outside consulting firm to explain their presentation. We do have a lot of experience in running convenience sites. Granville County, Vance County, Warren County, all serviced by the Henderson branch here. We also do Nash convenience sites, Wake sites as well. The only reference that I found in their presentation was to Franklin County. They haven't done convenience sites, but yet they're telling us how we should do a convenience site. We have a minimum of 40% of our branch who live in Granville County, including Emmett Santillo, who's our general manager. He resides here with his wife and 2 sons. We take very seriously our reputation and service for the citizens of Granville County. Our proposal allows for continuity of that relationship, also ensuring a financial benefit to both the citizens and the county. We're saving the county over $510,000 alone.
Your time is up.
Okay.
If you
Thank you very much.
Chairman, Board. My name is Emmett Santillo. I live at 1211 Bayview Court, Franklinton, Granville County. I've been a Granville County resident for over 13 years. I'm now the general manager of GFL here in the Henderson location. Some of the items that were shown to you today in regards to these pictures, there are many inaccuracies and some I'm not trying to say fabrication, but one thing I can say is that we do not know when these pictures were taken, number one. If you do review these pictures, a lot of these pictures can be shown as rainwater and not hydraulic fluid or leachate.
The Wilton site being one in particular, given that I live less than 5 minutes from the Wilton site, I spend quite a bit of time there myself. To say that there was leachate and hydraulic fluid running off, that is inaccurate. It was rainy, and as you all understand, when there's a shaded area, typically water does not dry up in a timely manner. So again, these pictures, we do not know when they were taken, but in review, this is not leachate or hydraulic fluid, but more so of rainwater. Also, you'll see where there's mud puddles where our trucks drove through. Clearly you can see that this is mud, and again, this is more inflammatory language that is being utilized. One thing I do want to say, they're saying about surfaced rust and things, an end of life of our equipment. As you all remember, Waste Industries their cans were brown in nature. That's not rust. Those were the Waste Industries cans. We've utilized some of those that are still in good working order. As part of the RFP, we plan on making container changes and container refurbishments, and also container painting. So we will follow the RFP and to the letter of the law. So that is what I wanted to bring up. Again, we thank you. I really appreciate your consideration.
Okay, next is Chris Stevens. Again, please state your name and address for the record.
Chris Stevens, 3585 Arbor Place, Wake Forest, 27587. I am concerned, as many others are, with the proposal to change early voting locations and the lack of transparency and information surrounding the proposal. However, others are speaking to that tonight, and I'm sure you're aware there are many unhappy voters weighing in on social media and next door neighbor. I want to address the deeper issue underlying this situation and a number of others relative to Granville County government. As most marriage counselors and business consultants will tell you, when a relationship is under stress, the most unproductive strategy to adopt is closing down authentic, honest, fact-based communication. When two people stop talking authentically or a business ceases to communicate with employees, the results are overwhelmingly negative and unproductive for everyone. During the last commission meeting I attended, there was a brief conversation about communicating with the public, and one commissioner said, almost as an aside, quote, "We try to be transparent. It doesn't always work," end quote. I applaud the courage it took to make that statement. As anyone experienced in problem solving knows, the first step is to know what the goal is and then identify to what degree current actions contribute positively to achieving that goal. Many people in Granville County are under increasing stress with public school closings, escalating food and gas prices, lack of adequate health care, and now the proposal to make voting more difficult. We need our commissioners and our county employees to be our partners, to be honest with us regarding the financial issues the county faces and other issues that could appear to be politically motivated. The more you shut us out, the angrier we become, and the more unpleasant it becomes for you to be commissioners. Government has no money. Every dime Granville County spends comes directly or indirectly from our pockets. We pay for the services we receive, and we deserve to be treated as partners with honest, transparent, fact-based discussions focused on the common good and not on personal or political party agendas. I am speaking as an individual who is a member of Down Home, North Carolina, Granville chapter tonight, and
Your time is up, ma'am.
Thank you.
Next is Keisha Tyler. State your name and address for the record, please.
Good evening, Keisha Tyler, 209 Shelford Trail, Oxford, North Carolina. I come to you asking for, just like some of the people before me, for your assistance as our elected officials as far as changing early voting locations from places that are fairly easy for people to get to, that have to walk, that have to catch a ride. That's not me. I'm here to stand in the gap and speak for those who are not here and can't speak for themselves. You're going to have a real problem with like carts transportation, the elderly, people that really want to cast a vote and are not able to if you move it to this location. I voted at the Public Works building for many, many years. It works out very well for everyone. And I'm just hoping that you can take this concern and lift it up to the powers that be on behalf of the people. That's it. Thank you.
John Whitelock. Whitelock. Please state your name and address for the record.
Good evening. My name is Dawn Whitelock. I live at 420 Kingsbury Street, and I too want to address the proposed moving of early voting. We all know what it really is. It is thinly veiled voter suppression, and it's not right and it's not fair, and you all need to help us do something about it. Do not let this go through. That's pretty much it. Thank you.
That's all, Chair.
Budget ordinance clarification, and pay plan and fee manual. Jennifer?
But, Mr. Chair, I have a question for the county manager.
Oh, okay.
Before we get started. Our item 6 is adoption of the fiscal year 26-27 budget ordinance classification and pay plan and fee manual. Also, item 10 is the solid waste convenience site management and franchise agreement, vendor selection, and direction on franchise ordinance. Depending on which way we go on this, is that going to have an effect on the fee manual?
Yes, it would. Fee manual can be adjusted, but the anchor proposal would require higher resident rates to support it. And I know Mr. Falls has some information on that as well.
My question is, should we reverse, which should we tackle first? Can we go back and amend the fee manual after we've approved it?
Yeah, we can amend that if need be.
Thank you.
And Mr. Chair?
Oh, okay.
I'm happy to introduce this item a little bit. I was prepared to, and Jennifer was not, so
okay.
Fair is fair.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate it. And I won't say a lot tonight about the proposed fiscal 26-27 budget. A lot has already been said about that proposed budget. It was presented to the board on May 4th. That presentation, along with the entire proposed budget, are posted online on the county's website. Since May 4th, we've had 2 budget work sessions, a public hearing on the budget, and tonight, some key elements in the proposed budget. One of the most important is that there are no increases recommended for the county tax rate or the fire tax rate. The focus of the budget is employee pay. This past fiscal year, we did a comprehensive pay and classification study the implementation of which we knew would be a key part of this year's upcoming budget. And I know that I and employees are grateful that thus far the commissioners have been very supportive of that implementation plan. The proposed budget also continues to support education at Granville County Public Schools and Vance-Granville Community College at a very significant level, public safety, as well as many other county needs in a stable way. So again, all of that is available for inspection in the budget on the county's website. I appreciate all of the public comment we have received on it, appreciate commissioner feedback, and think that we have done a good deal to be very transparent with the process and the product that's being recommended. Mr. Chair, that's what I have by way of introduction.
Thank you, Mr. County Manager.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Griffin.
at this time, I'd like to make a motion to move budget matter number 6, adoption of the fiscal year budget ordinance, classification, pay plan, and fee manual, to our June 15th meeting.
I'll second that.
It has been motion and proper second that we move item number 6 to our June 15th? June 15th meeting. Are there any questions or comments? All in favor, use vote and sign aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Stand approved, then we move to agenda item, budget matter number 6 to June the 15th meeting. Okay?
If we do that, it probably makes sense to move agenda item 7 to the 15th as well.
Okay. Can I get a motion to move agenda item 7 to June?
I make a motion to move item 7 to our June 15th meeting as well.
I'll second.
It has been, are there any questions or comment? All in favor, moving agenda item 7 to June the 15th, budget meeting? Say aye.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right.
Aye. Consistency.
Ayes have it. Stand approved. Okay. Moving along to economic development matter.
Mr. Chair, I have a question. May I address that? Commissioner Griffin, maybe it'd help and agree with moving it that we could provide the county manager with a little direction on what we can do between now and the 15th to allow the county staff to better prepare us for the next meeting and get maybe some additional questions answered.
Commissioner May, if I may suggest, maybe we need to have a quick work session.
Concur.
County manager?
Happy to have another one or to expand the one we already have scheduled for June 9th.
I often said that you got one June 9th, keep working in.
That'll be fine with me. Before then, I'll have.
And then during that period of time, Commissioner Griffin, I know you want to do a further line item review.
Yes, sir.
And then that will provide you opportunity to sit, or any of us, to do that, and even bring some of those line items into the that session meeting. And I will have some additional questions regarding our lease agreements with our vehicles, and some items I believe that additional items that I believe we need some levers clearly stated to ensure that if compliance to some of the matters concerning our SROs and concerning to our lease agreement are part of the budget discussion, and that these levers need to be put in place to ensure that we have compliance in order to achieve the budget as identified by commissioners. And I'll make a real quick point on that. Commissioner concerned about the cost of the leasing vehicles and the continuing cost of that, ensuring that we have policies in place in the county that address the use of vehicles, both by county departments and the sheriff's office, that are in line with budgetary matters in regards to expenses, and that the cost and how that can be, how that county manager can further address us. And again, we have also discussed the fact that this board had made a recommendation that we would bring on a manager that would oversee that program to ensure that we are doing that we're actually efficiently using the funds and where there's no waste. And that includes the lease, and that includes also the fuel, maintenance, and everything that goes into keeping the vehicle on the road. And then the other issue I have with regard for SROs is ensuring that we have a review of the agreements, and that our SROs we're actually funding SROs at our, what we believe to be, to the best that we can, fully documenting our SROs as being assigned to a school, and they're present, and they are, our schools are, the intent of this board was when we set back and we committed ourselves to putting an SRO at every school, whether working with other municipalities working with the municipalities or assigning them through our budget, that there would be an SRO at every school, every moment that school was open. And so I understand we can't get too deeply involved in operational aspects, but if we're going to fund it and pay for it, then I think we need assurances, and we need some type of levers and processes put in place to ensure that that compliance is ongoing. And so that's my concerns with those two matters in particular.
Mr. Chairman. In response to Mr. May, before that time, I will make an appointment to meet with County Manager Cummings and express to him what I'd like to see, and he can share it with me, and then we can have it available at our work session if that's permissible.
Okay. Any concern that you have, any commissioners have, please contact discuss it at our June 9th work session. Okay?
Mr. Chairman, Manager, would that be also a time to review the solid waste convenience site franchise agreement?
I think we probably could have some further discussion. We might be there all day, but that's all right.
Bear in mind, folks, that's the County Assembly Day on the 9th. So a bunch of folks have already signed up for that. I won't be here because I have a UNC School of Government Finance class that I cannot miss. So I'll be absent for the board work session, and I'll be traveling for a funeral on the 15th. That's why I voted against it. So my 2 cents, and I've got a lot more that I'll hold for my commissioner comments about some of the budgetary issues. Unless you'd like me to say them now, I'd be happy to.
Can we, I think Commissioner Karan is an integral part of this group. Can we reschedule that, County Manager? True.
We can be as flexible as we can be, and as flexible as county commissioners' schedules are.
I want to make what I think. Excuse me, Mr. Chair, may I? I think we might be better served to have the time solely dedicated to the budget, and that we don't feel pressed to move on to other topics, but we focus solely on the budget and get that resolved, because we do have to get it done in June. So I think, Mr. Chair, I'm recommending that the county manager work with commissioners and find a date in which all commissioners can be present and can provide a full day of review of topics provided to the county manager by commissioners.
This on their budget, right?
Yes, sir. Budget, another budget day.
If you understand, County Manager, another day, besides June the 9th. But
An alternative might be, since we already have 3 hours that day on the schedule, is just to move the other items off for a later date, since this seems to be a higher priority item.
That's fine. I actually would like, I'd like a day in which Commissioner Karan can be present. I think all voting members need to be present for that work session for the budget. And he's not available on that day, nor the 15th, correct?
Right. Well, I wouldn't go around scheduling things around my availability. I mean, I have a job now, and it's difficult to make daytime meetings. So I hate to hold up the budget process. We went through an entire exhaustive budget review and that, and some of the things we talked about in that meeting, like, I don't know, weapons platform inventory was supposed to be done, and then I hear that it's like on hold. Only 75% is going to be made available. Same thing for the radios. Accountability is lacking. We've asked for the budget, the radios to be inventoried. We've asked for weapons platforms to be inventoried. We've got multiple vehicles assigned to individuals, multiple vehicles assigned to one individual. So 7 individuals with multiple vehicles assigned to them. There's a whole lot of shenanigans going on there. Same with the SRO program. So don't hold this thing up on my account.
Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to throw out, as we did have a public hearing on the proposed budget, I just don't know what that line would be in terms of changing that budget and the public not having an opportunity to respond to it. No problem with what we're talking about doing, but I wanted to throw that out, that typically, once we had a public hearing, and if we make substantial changes, I wonder would there be an opportunity for another public hearing, or if it's even required. I would like to think that whether it's required or not, I would feel better with a public hearing following any substantial changes to the budget that we had when the public hearing was scheduled. That's my only thoughts about it.
okay.
So all minds are clear. You're working on what's going to do, county manager? Okay.
This doesn't take away from the good work that's done. This is just going to, what this doing for me is there are a number of items I think that need clarity and clear direction by this board to the county manager, where we cannot, it's our responsibility to put forth a budget that we're good with and that we're ensured that when that budget is recommended and finalized, that there are levers and compliance within it to ensure that the funding is achieved where it needs to go, how it needs to go, and how much. And so, and when. And so I think it's important we have those conversations.
Mr. Chair, if I understand what we're talking about here, and is not making any substantial changes to the budget, but just clarification. And I think we're okay with that. But I agree with Commissioner Cozart that if we do go back and make substantial changes to the budget, that for transparency, we do need to go back and have another public hearing. But as long as this is for clarification on certain things within the budget and not changes, then substantial changes, then I'm good with going with Commissioner Griffin and Commissioner May and Commissioner Williford on this, and Commissioner Karan.
Jim, is that legal?
Which part? I'm looking now. I'm not if we're adopting changes to budget line items, certainly that don't require a change in the tax rate, I don't think there's any requirement for a second public hearing. And I don't think there's one, I don't think there's a requirement anyway. I think the Local Government Budget and Fiscal Control Act requires one public hearing before budget adoption. Whether you choose to have a second public hearing if there were going to be substantial changes in order to blunt public concern or criticism, that would be a political decision, but I don't think there's any legal requirement that you have a second public hearing if you've had one.
Mr. Chairman, I would just like to clarify, that is my sole reasoning behind this. It's not to change anything. I think the county staff has probably done a great job on the budget. I would just like to have some more clarification on certain items that I see in the proposed budget that's been handed out to the public. I would just like to see some more clarification so I can answer honestly and effectively to my constituents and to the county residents when they ask questions.
Okay. So, all clear with, as long as we don't do no substantial changes in the budget, then we won't have to have another public hearing.
Again, I don't think you have to have one, period, but it's up to you all if you chose to have another hearing, if you made substantial changes.
Okay.
Just want to be clear on that.
And that substantial change would have to result in a tax rate change.
Well, I think you can choose to have a public hearing anytime you want to about just about any subject you want to, but I don't think it's required under the Local Government Budget and Fiscal Control Act.
All the meetings that we will have regarding this will be public, will be in the public and open to the public.
Well, I'm just thinking that, and I don't know the nature of all the concerns, but I wonder if they could be put into administrative, we could direct our administration to make sure that certain concerns are addressed as the budget is implemented. But I don't know right now just what they are. But if that could be achieved, then, you know, I think we could be in a position to move on, but just let him know what those concerns are in terms of how the budget is administered.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm moving right along then. Economic development matters. Approval task force, task order of product development due diligence. Joe?
Yeah, good evening, Commissioners. Again, I'm Joe Dre. I'm the Senior Economic Development Officer for Granville County. I'm here on behalf of my Director, Charlotte Duncan, who could not be here today. We're asking you to consider approval of a $50,000 task order with our on-call engineering firm, Kittleson & Associates, to conduct some due diligence work on the proposed heavy industrial site. We've concluded our work with the Duke Site Readiness Program on an identified heavy industrial site within the city limits of the town of Butner. Granville County Economic Development has been awarded a $50,000 grant from the North Carolina Railroad Company and is requesting to use that funding to conduct additional due diligence documentation so that this proposed industrial site can be more site-ready and competitive to industrial recruitment. Just as a reminder, Kittleson & Associates is one of our 4 selected on-call firms that were selected through the competitive RFQ process late last year. The work is fully funded by a grant from the North Carolina Railroad Company, and there is no local match required. Again, we're asking for the approval of the task order in the amount of $50,000 with funding from the North Carolina Railroad Company. Our office is also further recommending that the Board of Commissioners authorize the county manager to execute the task order agreement once finalized by the county attorney if needed.
Okay. Any questions for?
I don't have a question, but I'd like to put forward a motion to approve.
I'll second.
And I would just like to state that this property is held by Tobacco Road Holdings LLC, the property that is subject to due diligence. I have in the past provided legal services to that entity, but I'm not representing that entity in this matter. I just wanted to be clear on that. I'm only representing the county. This is property that was formerly part of the Davies and Meadows family property. And I've previously informed the board of that.
Thank you, Jim.
I will second Commissioner Gooch's motion.
It is a motion and proper second. Are there any questions or comments? All in favor, use the voting sign aye.
Aye.
And they have the same right. I have it, stand approved. Moving on to agenda item 9, solid waste matter. Jason, residential solid waste collection franchise classification.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, fellow commissioners. This agenda item returns to the board following its consideration of this matter at the May 18th, 2026 regular meeting. The purpose of this item is twofold. First, to clarify that the board's action on May 18th, 2026 constituted an expression of intent to award and did not constitute the grant of a franchise or the award of a contract. And second, to direct staff to prepare a contract and franchise ordinance granting the exclusive residential solid waste collection franchise to the selected vendor and to bring that contract and ordinance before the board for consideration at 2 successive regular meetings as required by law. At the May 18th, 2026 meeting, the board reviewed the proposals received in response to RFP SWS-2026 and identified GFL Environmental as the vendor to which it intends to grant an exclusive residential service franchise for the collection and disposal of solid waste and voluntary recycling option in the unincorporated areas of Granville County. Pursuant to General Statute 153A-46, no ordinance making a grant, renewal, extension, or amendment of any franchise may be finally adopted until it has been passed at 2 regular meetings of the Board of County Commissioners. The franchise to be granted hereunder is a franchise within the meaning of General Statute 153A-46, and accordingly, the franchise ordinance must receive a first reading and second reading at 2 separate regular meetings of the board before it may finally be adopted. The board therefore is requested to direct staff to prepare the contract and franchise ordinance and to bring it before the board for the first reading on June 15th, 2026, the regular meeting of the Board of County Commissioners. Final adoption, second reading, July 6th, 2026, regular meeting at the Board of County Commissioners. Adoption of the contract and franchise ordinance at 2 successive regular meetings will authorize the county manager to execute the contract with selected vendor, consistent with the terms and conditions of RFP SWS-2026 and the selected vendor's proposal. A quick review and the background of this RFP process. The county's existing exclusive residential service franchise for the collection and disposal of solid waste and voluntary recycling option in unincorporated areas of Granville County will expire on December 1st, 2026. In anticipation of that expiration, county staff issued and publicly advertised RFP SWF-2026 on February 2nd, 2026, seeking proposals for exclusive residential solid waste collection and recycling services in the unincorporated areas of the county. Next, a mandatory pre-bid meeting was held on March 2nd, 2026, which was attended by qualified prospective bidders. Following the pre-bid conference, county staff issued 2 addenda in response to questions submitted by prospective bidders. Proposals were received and publicly opened on April 2nd, 2026 in the county manager's office. Proposals and pricings were reviewed and evaluated by county staff and county administration. A summary of the proposals received and the pricing submitted by each vendor was provided to the board as of May 18th, 2026 meeting, and is attached hereto for reference. The initial term for the contract and franchise will be for 5 years, beginning on January 1st, 2027, and expiring on December 31st, 2031. There's 2 additional 1-year period for extensions. Compliance with contract and purchasing policy. County staff conducted the solicitation and procurement process in compliance with applicable state and local requirements governing the solicitation and award of contracts for solid waste services, including the advertising, pre-bid conference, proposal opening requirements applicable to franchise agreements under General Statute 153A-46 and the county's adopted purchasing policy. So the recommendation, I am recommending that the board take the following actions. 1, confirm and ratify that the board's action in its May 18th, 2026 regular meeting constituted an expression of intent to award the residential solid waste collection franchise to GFL. 2, direct the county attorney and county staff to prepare a contract and franchise ordinance granting an exclusive residential service franchise for the collection, disposal of solid waste, and voluntary recycling option in unincorporated areas of the county to GFL, consistent with the terms and conditions of RFP number SWF-2026 and the selected vendor's proposal. 3, direct staff to bring the contract and franchise ordinance before the board for consideration at the following regular meetings consistent with the 2 reading requirement of General Statute 153A-46. First reading, June 15th, regular meeting of the Board of County Commissioners. Final adoption, second reading, July 6th, 2026, regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners. The contract and franchise will not be effective and no agreement may be executed until the franchise ordinance has been finally adopted at 2 successive regular meetings of the board in accordance with General Statute 153A-46, and the contract with the selected vendor has been approved by the board and signed by the county manager. So I'm happy to address any questions you may have regarding this RFP award.
Mr. Chair, I have a question. As far as this residential pickup, do you get many complaints?
I do not.
Is it considered fairly well run?
Yes, sir. I get
this
very few complaints regarding the
residential
pickup service.
Okay, thank you.
And the service, the low proposed bid actually went down from current rates, so.
I want to make sure, Mr. Chair, I want to make sure that I'm responding to the right thing here. So this item here is for residential pickup only.
Curbside.
Doesn't have nothing to do with anything else, our landfills or our convenience centers.
Correct.
Okay, so, and I'm hoping I'm not misstating. Were they the only? Did other people make bids for this?
Yes, sir. We had bids from Anchor Disposal, Liberty Waste, Meridian
right.
Waste.
Yep. I'm sorry. I look back at that now, and when I reviewed this, I was looking at it. To be quite honest with you, I confused the 2 initially, so I apologize for that. That's all I have.
Very easy to do.
Okay. Anyone else have any question for Jason? This is dealing with curbside pickup.
I make a motion that we approve the first reading of at this regular meeting of the contract, that we approve it.
So the first reading would be at the next meeting, June 15th.
I'm
This is
sorry,
just a
I
notice,
stand.
notice of intent to award tonight. We would just basically direct us to draft an ordinance and bring the ordinance back for your review at the next meeting, along with the contract for consideration.
So should the motion be, how should the motion be worded?
Okay, so I'll go directly to the budget document. I'm sorry, the agenda item here. He would be to confirm and ratify, would ask that the board take the actions in the recommendation in the agenda that state as follows: confirm and ratify that the board's action in its May 18th, 2026 regular meeting constituted an expression of intent to award the residential solid waste collection franchise to GFL, direct the county attorney and county staff to prepare a contract and franchise ordinance granting an exclusive residential service franchise for the collection and disposal of solid waste and a voluntary recycling option in the unincorporated areas of Granville County to GFL, consistent with the terms and conditions of RFP number SWF 2026 and the selected vendor's proposal. And 3, direct staff to bring the contract and franchise ordinance before the board for consideration in the following regular meetings, consistent with the 2 reading requirement of GS 153A-46. The first reading would be June 15th, 2026, and the final adoption would be on July 6, 2026. I would note that the ordinance will need to be in a form to be adopted on June 15th, but it's possible that certain provisions of the contract still may be under negotiation, so we would bring the draft to you at that point in time, subject to finalization and direction to execute.
That was the motion. Did you get it?
I think the
For
motion.
somebody that has trouble remembering his name sometimes, there's no way I can repeat all that. I'll make a motion on what Jim said.
Second motion, Mr. Chairman.
It's been what Jim said. What Jim said. All in favor, both side aye.
Aye.
All opposed, have the same right. Thank you. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and board. Thank you again. The purpose of this will be the solid waste convenience site management and franchise agreement, vendor selection, direction on franchise ordinance. So this is the management of the convenience sites, the 7 convenience sites we have scattered throughout the county. The purpose, the board is requested to review the proposals received in response to request for proposals SWCS-2026 and to identify the vendor to which it intends to grant a contract, an exclusive right, and franchise for the operation and management of the county's solid waste convenience center sites, and provides directions to staff to prepare and bring forward a contract and franchise ordinance for consideration at 2 successive regular meetings of the Board of Commissioners required by law. Pursuant to General Statutes 153A-46, no ordinance making a grant, renewal, extension, or amendment of any franchise may be finally adopted until it has been passed at 2 regular meetings of the Board of County Commissioners. Accordingly, once the board identifies the vendor which it intends to award the contract and franchise, a contract and franchise ordinance shall be brought before the board at its regular meeting on June 15th, 2026, and the final adoption at its regular meeting on July 6, 2026. The background for this RFP, the county's existing contracts for the solid waste franchise collection and convenience site operation will again expire on December 31st, 2026. County staff issued and publicly advertised RFP SWCS-2026 on February 2nd, 2026, seeking proposals for solid waste collection, transportation, and convenience site management services for the county's convenience centers. A mandatory pre-bid meeting was held on March 2nd, 2026, which was attended by prospective bidders, qualified prospective bidders. County staff issued 2 addenda in response to questions submitted by prospective bidders after the RFP release. Addendum number 2, issued March 6, 2026, modified the material requirement of the original RFP by eliminating the requirement that the successful vendor furnish all new compaction equipment, including pre-crushers, waste compactors, and recycling compactors at the convenience center sites by January 1st, 2028. The modification was significant in scope and its effect on the proposals received is discussed below. Proposals were received and publicly opened on April 2nd, 2026 in the county manager's office. The county received responsive proposals from 2 vendors. Proposals and pricing have been reviewed and evaluated by county staff and county administration. A summary of the proposals received and the pricing submitted by each vendor attached hereto for the board's review. The initial term of the contract and franchise will be 5 years, beginning January 1st, 2027, and ending on December 31st, 2031. The parties may by mutual written consent extend the contract and franchise for up to 2 additional 1-year periods. So the summary of the proposals received. 2 proposals. GFL is the county's existing convenience site contractor. GFL proposes to continue providing services using existing used compaction equipment currently deployed at the convenience center sites. GFL does not propose to furnish new compaction equipment as part of this proposal. Anchor Disposal is the next proposer. They propose to furnish all new compaction equipment, including pre-crushers, waste compactors, and recycling compactors at all convenience center sites, notwithstanding the elimination of that requirement by Addendum 2. Anchor's proposed fees are higher than those of GFL, reflecting the additional capital investment proposed. A note on the equipment variation. The elimination of the new equipment requirement by Addendum 2 resulted in material different proposals with respect to equipment. Compliance with contract and purchasing policy. County staff conducted the solicitation and procurement process in compliance with all state and local requirements governing solicitation awards of contract for solid waste services, including the advertising pre-bid conference, proposal opening requirements applicable to franchise agreements under General Statute 153A-46 in the county's purchasing policy. All right, the recommendation. I am recommending that the board take the following actions. 1, review and consider the proposals submitted by GFL and Anchor, including consideration of the significant difference in equipment proposed by each vendor. 2, identify and designate the vendor to which the board intends to grant an exclusive franchise and contract for the operation and management of the county's solid waste convenience center sites, and direct staff to prepare a contract and franchise ordinance granting the exclusive franchise right to the selected vendor, and to bring that contract and ordinance before the board for the first reading on June 15th, 2026, and the second reading, final adoption on July 6, 2026. The board selection of a vendor at this meeting is a statement of intent to award and does not constitute a final award. The contract and franchise will not be effective until the franchise ordinance has been finally adopted at 2 successive regular meetings of the board in accordance with General Statute 153A-46, and the contract with the selected vendor has been executed by the county manager. And I'm happy to address any questions you may have on this. We've got a slide presentation I'll go over briefly. It's $22,000 roughly for the proposed 26-27 budget for convenience site funding. How we get our money to pay for this service is through 22,500 homes within the county. Everybody in the county pays a fee to use the convenience sites. It used to be just county residents. It was not city residents, municipality, but that changed a long time ago. Everybody pays. The city residents of people who have the franchise service pay a $57 fee per year. That would be the proposal for 26, 27. 11,500 homes pay the full solid waste fee proposed for 2026, 27 would be $129 per household. These homes are in unincorporated areas of the county that have no curbside service, any type of collection service. They rely exclusively on the convenience sites. So those two fees are anticipated to go up $10 for this budget year. Unlike Drew's budget, he didn't have any increases. I had $10 increases for households. So, for context, a $5 increase for each fee above results in approximately $100,000 additional revenue. This chart explains the user fee category, as I discussed earlier. Those living in municipalities or towns or contract with the franchisee this fiscal year paid $47. Again, 11,000 households pay that rate. This new budget year, fiscal year 26-27, would be $57 per 11,000 households. Getting down to those who living in unincorporated areas is $119 per 11,500 households. And then the proposed budget for those households for fiscal year 26-27 would be $129 per 11,500 homes. The last row at the bottom for 26-27, recommended user fees is support cost structure of GFL bid with existing used equipment. Fiscal year 26-27, rates required to support anchor bid with new equipment, rates at a minimum for each household would be $82 per 1,100 households and $154 per 11,500 households. That doesn't include the hauling costs, disposal costs. That only includes the new equipment, the staffing line item that was submitted on the bid submittal sheets. And those so I'm here, my last slide. These are the solid waste user fees comparison within the county and other counties surrounding us. Everyone's going up. You have the current user fees. I think Durham's the highest. Warren's going to have a big increase this year. Vance went up $5. Franklin's going up $5. So, any questions on this?
Mr. Chairman, I have a couple of questions. Jason, just for me, okay, I'm a little slow sometimes. So, the present bid by GFL rates would stay at, we go to $57. Okay, then the people in the county would pay $129. It would go to $129.
Yeah, that's their new budget request for the fiscal year 26-27.
The equipment that is out there now, that would remain the same for the duration of the contract? Is anything in the did I hear you say that there would be new equipment from GFL, or is that not? Did I not hear that?
No, they bid used equipment.
Okay, so their bid was including. Anchor's bid was with all new equipment. They've got to put their own equipment in. It's going to be, everything's got to be new. That would drive the cost to, I believe you said, I wrote it down, $154.
Yeah,
Well,
you don't have you live in an unincorporated area of the county.
I'm going to pay $154.
You live in an unincorporated area of the
right.
county. You don't have any. You don't have the franchise service.
That's right.
You would pay the $154.
That's
given,
right.
Given if Anchor was awarded the contract.
Do you know what it would be for your? I believe you said the delivery fees or that done. It didn't include some fees you just mentioned. I apologize.
It did not. That figure that 82 and 154 is only for the staffing line item.
Okay.
Because the halls were
The hauling
more or
fees,
less,
do we-
the halls were more or less fairly close. I mean,
So that would
I didn't
change.
include that in those terms, but that's a minimum. The minimum of 82 at 154. It could be more, a little more.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Mr. Jay?
And based on CPI adjustments, that rate, those rates would, both rates would adjust over years probably,
So I haven't,
slowly.
hey, Jason, thank you, Mr. Chair. I hadn't had the opportunity to see all the stuff that wasn't in our packet that Anchor presented tonight. So I don't know that, I would like us to be able to make a decision with a full packet, but I don't know if that violates anything through the bidding process or so forth. So, I mean, what should we see or not see? What should we know or not know? Because typically by the time it gets to this point in other matters, the manager is making a recommendation and we're seeing final numbers. We're not seeing a lot of the detail that was provided by Anchor tonight, and nor the comments that was provided by GFL.
This is a little bit of a curious situation because the way the RFP was done, it originally asked for everyone to provide all new equipment. And so that would have been an apples to apples comparison. There was a bid addendum issued, as was previously mentioned, allowing the proposal of used equipment. And so what we ended up with were two different proposals. Both of them, let me state, both of them could have submitted a proposal for both used equipment and new equipment. Anchor only chose to provide new equipment. GFL only chose to provide used equipment. There was nothing prohibiting either one of them from providing a bid for both. And so what you've got here tonight is a choice between those two approaches, and you can certainly ask that the full response from both parties be provided. And I don't think, again, it was a little unusual that there was a presentation in open session, but both parties were present. I spoke to Cancel for GFL today, and I spoke to the engineer who spoke tonight from Anchor. Both of them knew what was going to be on the agenda, and both of them understood that there would be an opportunity to present in public comments. And again, I would not recommend that as an approach going forward, but this has been a curious situation. I don't think there's any error with that, but also no problem if you all want to see the full proposal that was given by both parties and continue this to a future meeting date for consideration.
I would, and then at that point, would that be appropriate where we could ask each vendor questions?
Well,
for example, so Anchor providing new equipment, and they provide that new equipment. So what happens 5 years later, or what happens yearly to pay for that 5 equipment? And what happens if it goes up? What if we have there's a reason why we ask for new equipment from from the current provider. And so I'm requesting, Mr. Chairman, that we delay the process until we have the full opportunity to review both proposals, and then have the opportunity to ask the appropriate questions at the appropriate time of the vendors, if that's within our wheelhouse.
My preference there would be, and I think this was stated at one of the bid meetings, is that the county management could hold interviews and ask questions between the two vendors. So if there are things that you all want answered after you review the proposal, it seems to me that would be an appropriate thing to be handled through that process.
I would like for us to delay this until we get full packets, and commissioners typically do not get in the back and forth on these type of things for obvious reasons. Commissioners do not want to be associated with any ways of any persuasion toward any of the vendors.
I agree.
I think it's prudent to know, I want to see apples to apples, Mr. County Attorney.
Well, we may have to, that would require a rebid at this point.
Okay.
And so, again.
But it doesn't sound like we were getting that. I mean,
What's that?
it doesn't sound like we were getting apples to apples.
And you're not, required to, but again, it's not, if you all direct that this matter be put back out for rebid, and say that both parties should submit a bid for both, used equipment and new equipment, you could do that. I do fear that it would be sort of a futile effort for another vendor to submit a bid for used equipment, but I guess they could go out and shop on the market and see if they could piece together used equipment to bring it in. If you're going to go that route, I would simply ask that you instruct us to come back to you at the next meeting with a plan, because I would need to think carefully about whether anyone could provide a meaningful bid for used equipment that can be competitive.
Mr. Chair, if I may, we talked a lot about new equipment, used equipment. But one thing we haven't talked about is customer service. You know, what kind of customer service are we demanding from these companies? And you would think that a company that's in the middle of contract negotiations would have their sites looking spick and span and looking great and be in order so that they put their best foot forward for not only the citizens of this county, but anybody that has anything to do with management or commissioners, anyone. If they went to one of the sites, they would see that it was well kept, everything was in order, and they were doing a great job on the customer service end of it. I didn't see that Saturday afternoon. And if the comments that went through my head were spoken here tonight, I would probably have to resign, because I felt that strongly about the absolute mess I saw at the convenience site on Old 75 in Butner. You know, everything was closed up except for the commingled recyclables, and that was almost running over. And there was 2 roll-off dumpsters full of trash sitting out in the yard, and they were filling up the 3rd one. And I think there was a 4th one there if needed. And yeah, that type of customer service, it doesn't speak well for the county. It doesn't speak well for the company that's doing it. And I think that should be a consideration in our deliberations. Now, granted, Anchor is going to put GFL in their worst light. They're going to make them look bad as possible. But my problem, what I see is Anchor doesn't have to do that. GFL does enough on their own. And I got tired of calling Jason, because it became a every Monday morning deal, because if I didn't see it on Saturday, one of my neighbors did, or somebody told me about it. And it's been an ongoing problem at the convenience site on Old 75. I don't know what it's like at Wilton.
Well, we have had our issues there, and you're aware of that. And, with the compactor that was down for a significant period of time that they were trying to repair. And often it gets rough out there. That being said, that's why I'm hoping something can come back to us, because I want to know the rationale as to the county in their initial RFP, I hope I'm using the right term, wanted new equipment. There's a reason for that. What was that reason? Maybe it needs it. I don't know as a commissioner. And so I would like to know a little bit more about why we're asking what we're asking for, and then compare apples to apples in the conversation, and then see where we're at. And so I felt kind of, I know it wasn't improper, Mr. Wren, and so forth, but it's just not a typical process what went on tonight. And typically we're able to be much more prepared. And so I'm going to make a motion that we delay any decision tonight until the appropriate bids process will be worked out per recommendations of the county attorney and the county manager.
I think if you have questions about why decisions are made about the bid process, new equipment versus used equipment, you can ask those tonight if you would like to ask those.
Okay.
Again, I'm trying to, I thought he was
Okay.
putting a hex on me. I didn't know what was going
No,
on.
that's fine. I don't mind asking that question. I just want to make sure, I just don't want to step out of bounds, you know.
I understand. I guess my point is, it is a irregular situation to some extent, and we're trying to present it in the.
No, I are. And again, I'm not being critical. I'm not being critical, but just, you know, we're typically are very prepared when someone comes up in this process takes place, not blaming anybody. Mr. Falls, why did we request new equipment?
Initially, it was due to the problem that happened a couple of years ago. It's been probably almost 3 years, 2.5, 2. That was the main reason. GFL's had the contract since 7 years. And initially, that's what I put in the bid. And at the pre-bid meeting, most everyone there at that meeting says, your user fees are going to be extremely high. This equipment is $1 million investment. Your fees are going to go up. And I heard that on a number of occasions from most everyone at that pre-bid meeting. Not all, I don't think. But that was the reason for going back to giving them an option on used equipment. And you can see it. You got a $25 increase this year for each household in the county with an anchor disposal bid, and maybe more.
And I'd kind of like to know, so your experience is that someone comes in and gets you brand new equipment, then where you're at 5 years from now? Or let me ask you this question. This is more of a precise question. Where will we be 5 years from now if we keep the same vendor and the equipment's already 7 years old and we're facing systemic issues with some of the equipment? How do we work through that? And, you know, at some point we got to be able to.
The new contract has more teeth in it. There's damages for the stuff like that this time around. Truck, equipment, there's liquidated damages. They've got a certain amount of days to correct that, and it ain't a month.
Is
It's
that
days.
new? Is that new?
Yes, in the new contract. So this contract does have some teeth in it for liquidated damages.
If they don't correct it, what's the consequence?
$1,000 a day, I think, isn't it?
I thought I saw 2,000, but I have to go back
2,000
and
a day.
double check.
My compactor goes down, I
2,000.
think it's 7 days.
So-
It's got to be fixed in 7 days, if not 7
So if
days.
you're a company wanting to do business with Granville County, you would either provide us with equipment that is well working and you're able to repair it in an expeditious manner, or you're going to make an investment to buy new equipment. And with the lower bid here, it sounds like they were willing to meet the demands of the contract, to meet the demands of what we found as issues with regards to major system failure. Okay. Thank you, Jason.
Mhm.
Any more questions?
So do you all want this brought back to you at the next meeting after having seen the full agenda packet?
Yes, sir. I'm just going to reaffirm my motion that we do exactly that. And that's my motion.
And if you all have any questions before then, channel them to county staff and they can determine how to handle interviews.
I believe Commissioner May
made a motion. It's in motion and proper second. Are there any questions or comments? All in favor, you can vote and sign aye.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right. Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Moving right on to appointments to Vance-Granville Board of Trustees. Commissioner May? Oh, Tony.
Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead, let's go.
at this time, I would like to appoint Dr. Brenda Williamson of Oxford, North Carolina, to fill the vacancy on the Vance-Granville Community College Board of Trustees.
Second motion, Mr. Chairman.
It has been moved and properly second that there will Ms. Brenda Williamson be appointed to the Vance-Granville Board of Trustees. All in favor, use voting sign aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you. Okay, appointment, reappoint Granville County Department of Social Service. Commissioner Cozart.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, with recommendation of the staff, I'd like to recommend the appointment of James Garrett to the Social Services Board.
I'll second Dr. Cozart's nomination.
It is moved and proper second that James Garrett be appointed to the Social Service Board. All in favor, use voting sign aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Are there any other matter? Okay. County Manager report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Given the late hour and my scratchy voice, I'm just going to have one comment tonight, and that is to offer my congratulations to all of the graduates this year from Vance-Granville Community College, South Granville High School, J.F. Webb High School, Oxford Prep, and Falls Lake Academy. Congratulations to all of them. That's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Nothing for open session, Mr. Chair. A matter for property acquisition and economic development for attorney-client privilege.
Presentation by board member. Mr. Gooch.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd just like to piggyback on what our county manager said. I want to congratulate all the graduates this year, all over, everywhere, especially the ones here in Granville County. That's quite an accomplishment, and it's the first of hopefully many to come in their lifetime. And I want to again thank the Granville leadership, having a senior moment, okay? But I want to thank them for taking time to take the course and go through it. And, you know, we just appreciate them spending their time doing this, and appreciate all the people in the county that work together to put this on each year. And that's the bulk of my comments. I've probably said too much already earlier in the session.
Thank you, Mr. Gooch. Commissioner Williford.
I too would like to just thank all the graduates, thank those graduating from high school, the group, the Leadership Granville group that came tonight, good group of folks. Appreciate them going through what they're going through. I'd also like to just say real briefly, we lost a good man in Stovall this weekend. Alan Nelson and I have been friends for 25, 30 years. Stovall lost a good man. Ella lost a good husband, and I cannot remember the daughter's name, but she lost a good father. Alan and I served on the Granville County ABC board for 15 years together. good fella, good man. I know he's in a better place, but I am going to miss him. And he was a planning board member and actually attended a lot of our meetings as well as the Stovall town commissioners meetings. I'm going to miss Alan personally and just professionally. That's all I have.
Commissioner Griffin.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a couple of things. I was able to go on a tour of Sun Rock a couple of weeks ago, and I just want to say that is a business that I did not know encompassed that kind of vastness in our county. They taught me a lot that day, and I saw a lot. And it is incredible to know that that company exists in our county. The next thing, I was very honored to be invited and go to the Button Memorial Day wreath laying ceremony on Memorial Day with Dr. Cozart. A very touching ceremony, remembering our veterans, those who served, and those who unfortunately gave the ultimate price. And I just want to continue to thank our veterans and uplift our veterans. And especially we have two veterans on our board, Commissioner May and Commissioner Karan. I just want to thank them once again for their service and thank all veterans for their service. Lastly, but mostly not at all least, is congratulations to all the high school seniors who graduated and all of the Vance-Granville Community College graduates. I hope they find wonderful jobs in our county or go on to college to train themselves for better jobs and to increase our county and the good things that go on in our county. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Cozart.
Yes, ditto to everything that's been said about Mr. Nelson. He also served on the Wake Electric board, and I was so happy that he provided that service as well. And the Memorial Day was very touching, and it's just a good thing to participate in. And just one word about our high school graduates. You know, it seems like every year there's at least one or two students who maybe have some challenges. And just the way the community embraced those kids, those young people who maybe had a different path to get that diploma, and the way they celebrated with them was very touching. So was happy to be a part, and thanks to all of our school's leadership for planning special days for the students. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Commissioner May.
Thank you, Mr. J. Again, thanks to our seniors. I want to, and I'll tell you what, it's really thanks to the parents and thanks to those that educated them. Those end of the year tests, I'm finding out from my own grandchildren, are you got to prepare for them. You don't prepare for them, you're not going to get good results. And so I want a special thanks to the parents of Granville County. And I happen to be in Florida watching one of mine graduate. I'm going to give a shout out to my grandson, Levi, on a great job. Very proud of that young man. And I appreciate the board understanding why I missed some of our graduations here as I was away for that. I want to thank Ms. Baird. And she has done a remarkable job over this budget season, and she's still working on stuff, and she's still taking questions on a regular basis. And so I want to give her a shout out. Commissioner Cozart, our hearts are with you and your family as you take on those two health issues, and we wish the very best. And let me see here. Sun Rock was quite amazing. Commissioner Griffin and who all went? Commissioner Gooch went. Mr. J. I mean, it was quite something. I'll be honest with you. I never thought you'd see that much, and right there at the edge of Butner, it was quite amazing. I wrote a little something tonight that I'm gonna read to you all. It's I hope you'll allow me to just take a little bit longer than I normally do. It won't take very long, but I think it goes along the lines of what we Memorial Day. That day is very special to me as being a son of a combat veteran and having family members that have nearly lost their lives in combat, and knowing those that have lost their lives in combat. So I'd like to share with you my comment on that. Memorial Day, it's a day in which we remember and honor those service members, sons, daughters, fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters, uncles, and aunts who gave their lives to protect and defend our land, liberties, and freedoms. A blessed way of life not experienced anywhere else in this world. I'm so thankful for those who took the path to be our warriors, to defend and preserve a land I love so dearly. Far too many died in their youth, never having the opportunity to enjoy the lives we have lived. They gave their full measure so we at home can continue to enjoy the wonderful experience of living in the land of the free and the home of the brave. America is the most exceptional nation in the world, the envy of all nations. I say that unashamed. A land forged in faith to the one true God, and despite all of her shortcomings, serves as a beacon to the world. A land that's benevolence and strength has and will continue to make our world a better place for all mankind. And I love tonight, I just want to remind all, a land I love. Just want to remind all, the freedom and liberties we all enjoy are directly attributable back and throughout our nation's history to those who made the ultimate sacrifice. God bless those who gave us that sacrifice, their full measure, and their families who each year, it's not a celebration, it's a day of mourning. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner May. Commissioner Karan.
So I'm going to give a little vinegar on this statement. Two important committees that I serve on. One, Emergency Services Committee, which has animal control, emergency services, 911. There's one group that doesn't attend that meeting, that's supposed to be at that meeting, is the Sheriff's Department. The other group is the Opiate Committee. And I look back for the last 12 months, and there's been 2 times when the sheriff's representative's been at that committee. So last week, Thursday, at the Opiate Committee meeting, we barely had a quorum. We had to wait a few extra minutes for someone to come in. We had some questions around the school system and SROs. Couldn't ask them because we didn't have a sheriff's department representative. Those are 2 very important committees. We spent $1.5 million on radios, and it took our emergency services director, hadn't finished doing the inventory yet. Can't get a handle on that. We're supposed to have the interview of our weapons platforms from our internal auditor. Haven't gotten that yet. And the sheriff is an elected official, duly elected to high sheriff. But he's not a team player. And he needs to have somebody come to these meetings. Otherwise, we shouldn't even bother having him. You've got this MAT program, the medically assisted treatment for opiates in the jail. Hasn't launched yet. We authorized that money to be spent 2 years ago, and it hasn't fully kicked off. It's unacceptable. So there's my vinegar for the night. The issue around the leasing of the vehicles and the distances they're being driven, especially predominantly in our sheriff's department. I'm sure you've all driven around and seen other units of government, like Zebulon, parked on 96 at the fire station, or Raleigh police officers parking down in the Creedmoor area because their service district that they're allowed to take their patrol cars is further than where they live. But we've got people driving Rocky Mount down the other side of like Fayetteville. I mean, it's unacceptable how many miles some of these folks are putting on our vehicles. And it just bothers me to no end. Here in budget time, and we had our long-standing budget retreat meetings last week, and one of the points that we talked about was the vehicle leasing. And, you know, we don't have a handle on that. We're talking about getting a new department personnel to get a handle on that. And I think that that's something that really needs to be brought home. And I'm sorry that he's not here tonight. I see two of his deputies here tonight, and I hope that message gets back. I've communicated it to the sheriff, but just like you all are elected officials, me saying something to you doesn't have to carry weight because you're just as duly elected as I am by the citizens you serve. So I'm just, again, here to give a little vinegar on this budget cycle. Apologize that I'm not going to be at the next meeting with y'all. As you do decide the budget, I was actually very hopeful we could knock that out tonight. But I understand that folks have got some consternation and would like to have a little bit of more information, and that's actually a really, really good thing. And I applaud you for taking extra time. But again, I apologize that I'm not going to be able to be at the next meeting. But I'll close with saying congratulations to all those that toughed it out and got their graduation from high school. That's an important step in life. Without a high school education in America, it's almost impossible to make it. So with that, I'll close. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Karan, I would just like to say a couple things. Brother Alan Nelson served Granville County well. He served 20-some years on the ABC board. He been on the planning board for I don't know how long. I remember. Mr. Turner. Yeah, he been on that for a while, and Alan, he very seldom misses our meeting. He's going to be missed. I talked with his wife this morning. She's okay. The funeral will be Saturday at 12 o'clock at what name of church? Oh, I didn't tell you what church. Oh, Michael Creek Church. At 12 o'clock, they have viewing starting at 11 o'clock. You want to go in and view the body. And also, Friday from 4 to 6, they be at Mer Davis and Wrights and Mer Davis funeral home in Henderson, North Carolina. Also, just like to say to the leadership grammar class that was here at the present here today. Thank you for taking the class, and I encourage each and everyone to take leadership grammar class because you'll find out what's really going on in Granville County and how much a whole lot of things we think we know about Granville County, we don't know about Granville County. Also, just like to say that I went to Land of the Reef down at Post 90 on Moore Day. It was a great service, and the speaker did good, and everything went very. I just like to say to our military, everybody that served in our military, thank you for serving. Thank you for risking your sacrifice of serving our county. I mean, serving our state and serving our nation, and we appreciate it. And to all the graduates, I think about the young man that came across the stage last Friday when he got there, when he called his name. When he called his name before he can get his certificate, he was jumping and shouting. but you know, we'd like to thank each and every one of those young people. You know, our young people is they say tomorrow, future for tomorrow. Our young people is our future today. Give a 8 or 9-year-old child a phone and see what they can do with it. They can do more than I can with it. With that said, Commissioner Cozart, you have our prayers with you, and And we keep praying that Jackie gonna be okay. She gonna be okay. And everybody, and I just like to let everybody, I think this gonna be my last meeting for a while. I goes in surgery on the 11th. And the doctor done told me I had to be in the hospital for a week after that. So I'll be missing the 15th. And I don't know how I'm gonna put it with me and my wife. Being at home.
You know this is on the air, right?
I know that. So please don't go back to tell them. But anyway, we thank you for all your prayers and keep praying for me. With that said, can we get a motion to go into executive session?
Mr. Chair, before we make a motion to go into executive session, just want you to know that I'll be in prayer for you, and everyone here will be praying for you and during your surgery, your recuperation time, and we'll be especially praying for your wife.
I want this to let you know. I told my wife when they put me to sleep, and if I don't wake up, don't worry about it. I enjoyed you.
Well, we're going to be praying that you wake up, and we're going to be praying that you recover and that you'll be back with us soon.
Okay. Can I get a motion to go into close?
Yes, I'd like to make that motion
with a break.
With a 10-minute break. We'll reconvene in closed session.
I second.
And if it moves in proper second, then we have it. We go into executive session with a 10-minute break. All in favor, you vote sign aye.